And just when you think you've seen everything.
It's a Pac-Man.
No, it's one of those Japanese katakana symbols or something. More strange things. For some reason, that decided it wanted to look like a barrel cactus. After a nice, strenuous, but exhilarating day, we have made it back to the bridge.
And I'm going to go to the river.
We'll check it out. Looks like other people have had the same ideas. Let's go on this side. Why don't you go walk over it?
We can go have
I'm going to sell this to Fox News when we get home.
I've got a pine cone sap all over. Yeah, the mayonnaise is up there waiting for us to make sandwiches.
Just wanted to get perspective. I know I already got this, but
That's a very temporary tree.
that really looks unique.
And that ponderosa is not dead. I like that. This bunch grass is a sedge. triangular.
Coastal riparian life on a river. On the trees. Strange root action going on. We're back from our South Grove Trail trip. Highly recommended, but we missed this the first time around. It's about prescription burning, as well as the timeless trees. Back to camp. And this park has a good road system. No potholes. Scenic overlook. Another interesting shaped tree.
Yes.
Has been beaten into submission. And a nice view of the topography of the region. And I like the dead tree that has little clumps of moss on it. Here is a little bit of geology lessons. Birth of the Sierra. Carved by ice. Unfortunately, the lighting isn't right. The growing mountains. And here on the overlook, scenic overlook, we have some Manzanita, which I wasn't expecting to see up this far. One of my favorite shrubs in the world. And cool trees. Not sure what this is, but it's obviously past its springtime prime. But it's pretty cool. Love the leaves. More than the berries, actually. And there's a rock. All right. The next day, time for another hike. Today we're hiking the Lava Bluffs Trail. We will enjoy, but take care. It is a nice little loop.
Please stop for the trail end viewing area.
Through volcanic mudflow meadow, also known as Lahar. Without further ado,
Lava Bluffs Trail Guide.
no dogs. As we proceed down the Lava Bluffs Trail, no sign of lava yet, but we have just read that this is the most diverse trail in the park, with several types of biomes and different kinds of plant life. No big trees here, or at least not Sequoia giganteums. Lots of dead trees too. Fire is inevitable. Nice view. More of these things.
Yep.
in the road has happened.
We take the right.
And loop trail. Obviously, it's a one-way loop trail. As we continue, the ground gets rockier and Manzanita comes into the picture. A particularly nice example of Manzanita. For a trail going through two beautifully majestic trees, even if these aren't quite as
Even they're dead?
magnificent as they once were.
Recently dead ponderosa pines.
But they look like they were thriving for a while.
Yep.
After a long elevation climb, we've reached some kind of summit and are treated to a view of some sort. Many dead trees. This is why we're doing this. I guess it's because of this obvious volcanic activity here.
Yes, yes, definitely.
At one time, there was a whole lot of rumbling going on.
Yep. It was Hawaii.
There's some evidence of some
What do you see?
basalt activity.
Of what?
The landscape peppered with basalt,
Ah, yeah.
especially that ridge up there.
Yes.
This is actually a nice little. You say that is really that.
That is really that. I'm glad we stopped, actually. I felt like when we stopped.
I needed to stop. I was thirsty, but this seemed like the perfect place.
Yeah, we'll stop again when we get to, what is it, number 5?
Plus, this is a good place to just ponder the
It is.
ponder the universe, like William Shatner. As we sit and ponder the magnificence.
I think all the aliens are going to be like in Star Trek. Many of the races will be nubile young women with large breasts.
Oh, it goes beyond aliens. There's actually they're saying that the Earth is. Would you say this is a black oak?
It's not an oak at all.
It is an oak.
You're right, it is an oak. It's an oak.
What a cool oak. This is obviously an old oak. We'll call it the.
It's got acorns and everything. It's not a black oak, it's got completely, lanceolate leaves.
Why don't we call this the Kraken Oak?
I bet you this oak is evergreen.
It's a way cool oak.
It is a way cool oak. And it's old.
Kraken Oak, as I'll call it. And then as we descend, here's evidence of past eruptions, which is what we came to see. Well, we didn't come here specifically to see anything. We just wanted to check it out. But
This would be a fun place to go for a even if it's just a day.
a short little off trail.
Oh, there they are. Oh, that's cool.
See the lava bluffs.
Yep. Lava Bluffs. That looks like Hawaii, only much older and already covered by vegetation. And look at this thing. This fell recently. It was dead for a while, then boom.
I like that one. With that strange mangled shape to it.
This one looks cool from my angle. You see it ripped out of the ground, just fell over.
Recent fallen soldier, R.I.P. Continuing on the way back, on the loop, the south part is basically just a stroll through the woods, with many of those woods dying, ready to be burnt into a crisp, with the occasional view, but mostly just fallen trees, overgrown vegetation, and an endless path back to the parking lot. Lots of gullies on this side and large boulders. This is obviously a spring trail where lots of flowers and stuff bloom, but there's obviously
Six, unless it takes the cover and boulder. Okay. Sort of the entire water from the ditch.
as we get closer to the parking lot, we're treated to a little outcropping.
We can hear the river.
The Stanislaus River flows just below. We can hear it. Down there. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Catch me! I'm falling! Ah! An American tourist enjoying California's gold. Obviously, he prays to dog. There's a fire hydrant out here. One more trip to the visitor center before we head back. This is the inside of the visitor center, where we can buy lots of stuff we don't need, which I just might do. First time around, but here is a little museum. Actually, we saw this last time we were here. I forgot about this.
I did. You just ran through.
I forgot about it though. Complete with dead animals. I'm glad we didn't run into one of these guys.
No, they generally run away from us.
Then they have several varieties that are growing around.
This is
They're just in your food, they're not in you.
This is a great topographic map of the park. So we visited. We're right here at the visitor center, but we stayed at the Oak Hollow Campground. This morning we did the hike, the Lava Bluffs Trail. Yesterday we did the South Grove Natural Preserve. We did the entire loop, and we even went beyond that over into this area, which was pristine. When we came initially, we did the North Grove.
sequoias are distant cousins of
I bet you just worth it.
You don't say. Aren't you cute? You're just the cutest little thing ever. Look at you gnawing on that little wood. Aww. Rodent cute overload. All right, thank you for the show. One of the lesser known natural features of the park is the spontaneous trail through the fallen tree site.
This is one that fell over in 1860.
Go through there. Walk through there. Here's another one of those tree trunk thingies that has begun growing into a tree.
There's photographs of Civil War cavalry. Yeah, this thing fell hundreds of years ago. It's cool.
Let's go through it.
You can.
Hey, we get to go through a tree.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Antelope Slot Canyon.
Antelope Slot Canyon?
You ever been there? It's in Arizona. It's on the Navajo.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Oh, they're way cool. It's a good photo of you. I should get one of you in that position
Okay.
on your camera.
Yeah, please do.
See that big knot in that tree there?
Oh yeah,
It's kind of
pregnant.
It's kind of a strange little thing.
It is. That tree is nearly dead.
Well, well, well. What do we have here?
Dry well.
Ah, how many witches were burned in this?
Burned in wells, or they've drowned in wells?
Well, there's no water, so if it's dry, you burn. It'd make a great fire pit, right? Like, yeah? That's kind of a nice well, though. They put a lot of effort into it.
Yep. Need some water.
We're supposedly on the trail that we overlook the canopy. We are gaining a little bit in elevation, but obviously we're not overlooking the canopy. We're still very much in the forest. To be continued. Very strange indeed. When dead trees and live trees like each other a lot. We had some Siamese twins before, but here we have Siamese triplets. However, the middle one has since lost its ability to grow anymore. Nevertheless, two of them are still quite viable. It even has a surprised look on its face. Oh no! You turn the corner and it's big tree heaven.
Actually, I'm glad we're here now. It does look great with the sun so low. And I'm going to read these little things. I was enjoying this. I don't have to read them aloud. Do you want me to say anything if I see anything interesting?
Of course. Just say what it is. Number 14.
This tree was actually killed when speculators removed the bark. When speculators removed the bark from the tree in 1854, it was mortally wounded. Since the inner bark carries manufacturing sugars throughout the tree could not survive for long with the layer removed. With the outer layer of protective bark gone, the tree lost all its resistance to fire, as can be seen by the wood charred in the fire of 1908.
Looks kind of evil. It looks like a cat standing up with its arm out and its tail out, doesn't it?
Sort of like a saguaro.
And then look at the end of the tail. It has a snake's head. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
This is Mother of the Forest, nature's sorrow. Where they stripped the bark off to totally, and then it was susceptible to fires.
And also was starved to death.
Oh yeah, and since bark is the main means for trees to move their sap and nutrients, it died. Silly humans.
It was the Abraham Lincoln tree. It was named after his death.
Look at that, it's so... The circumference is huge even at the top. Here, it's not unicorn porn, it's a unicorn tree.
Sugar pine unicorn tree.
That's weird.
L.V. Peterson.
Number 26 is so special, it gets its own little bridge. Let's go see what this is all about. I guess it's just so we can touch it. Nice tree. So soft. I could see how easy it would be to pull all this bark off.
Oh yeah.
That would be bad. And there's back to the visitor center. We have completed the North Grove tour. It is time for us to go to the truck, drive to our campsite,
Set up.
immediately open up more beer, set up our tents, and eat something because it has been a nice, long, eventful day.
This was a really
We are day 2, and we're next to the bathroom. And this is our campsite. Not bad. We're next to a sequoia, not a giant one, but adequate. Our little impromptu, there's my tent. There's Jim's tent. And we're wondering what this is. These are the coolest little fruit seedy things.
dogwood, I think.
But we will find out. It does look like some kind of dogwood, but I don't know what the seeds look like on dogwood. But the leaves do look dogwoodish. This, of course, is a sequoia. Was it Medic Sequoia giganteum?
No, Sequoia giganteum.
Just Sequoia giganteum. Yeah, the dawn redwood. Anyway, this beautiful place, we're off to see the South Grove today, which is where the pristine old growth forest resides. Here we are getting to the South Grove. There's the parking lot. Here's a big sign that seems to be here overbuilt for no reason. Memorial Groves. Here we will be going into the South Grove. It's about a mile to the actual preserve, so I guess we'll have to go through all these scraggly old newer trees that are dying. And here's like a million people and organizations that have made this happen. And there is a pine cone.
Yeah, of
More
his
signs. We already know where that is, but that is what we're going for. And that is our equivalent of the yellow brick road on our way to California's gold. Look at this beautiful meadow. I just like the way the shadows and everything are playing upon it right now.
Me too.
This feels very beautiful.
The needle grass, the native needle grass just dying off, setting seed.
And there's a little log.
I like them.
I just peed here, but I just noticed there's horsetails next to the ferns.
So this is a seasonal wet area.
Obviously. And here we are coming upon
Crossing over a stream.
our first little
Look at this.
beautiful waterway. Like this bridge.
I'm gonna like this too. We can go swimming. We should go on the way back. It's warm enough and we can go swimming.
Maybe.
I'd like to.
Ooh, look at that crooked tree up there.
Oh, that is so cool. Yes, I think I'm gonna. If it's warm enough, I'm coming back. I want to. At least I want to walk down here.
Sure.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
And I might want to go swimming.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is.
I haven't gotten around to it yet. The things you find in nature, how that got that mangled over time is a mystery, but wow.
Let me restart my phone.
It even has like a snake-like head to it. A little illuminated web tucked beneath the dying branches. This is so ready for a burn.
Oh, it's so ready. You're right. It's so ready for a burn.
But not today. Looks like we finally reached the South Grove Natural Preserve.
So this is the western boundary.
And this is what we're gonna see. All these beautiful blooming plants in full regalia.
Blooming pad full of a couple months ago.
Right. And they have them all blooming at the same time. That's what gets me.
These guys woke me up this morning.
They pretty much do.
Pretty easy to be a horticulturist.
Actually, I have to admit the western.
We have our first sign of maples. What did you say these were? The long, what kind of maple?
Called the big leaf maple.
The big leaf maple.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
Beautiful leaves, especially with the sun coming.
definitely.
As we proceed through the South Grove Trail in the Wilderness Preserve, we have come upon another bridge over another tiny little,
Creek. It says that there's always water here.
and this is probably where I would see my salamander if I hung around for a while.
Native grasses.
There's probably all kinds of mosquitoes here too.
Is this big freeze
assume it's the one, yeah. I assume it's the
But it looks like dogwoods thrive here more than anything. Well, we finally have our first monstrous tree in sight. That is a real sequoia.
Well, we gotta take a picture.
Immensity.
Hard to capture, isn't it? Oh, I love this moss.
It's impossible to capture with a picture. Does this one have a name or anything, or is it just tree X?
Hold the trail
Well,
there's a
it's a
picture of it.
stopping point.
It's definitely the first major next big sighting. That one has a little more red bark.
Oh wow. That was beautiful.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because we saw trillium in the big basin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They have jagged leaves.
Yeah, and they're not letting like it.
I don't.
This is so
You know what?
random.
I simply don't know.
I have a feeling that the guide, we had a wonderful guided tour in Big Basin, and I think she identified it, but I don't remember. Oh, it kind of looks like this. See how the rosette.
And yet another
No person can exactly say
sighting.
crashed across the. Oh, so somewhere there's a big.
They keep getting bigger as we go in, making this quite an exciting journey.
Snags here too.
Impossible to grasp.
They have the Pileated Woodpecker. Oh my
Wow,
God.
that's the biggest one we've seen yet, isn't it?
Yes.
You say the ones that's in the national park are bigger?
Yep.
I haven't really explored their scaled bark.
Not only sequoias are big in this park, there's that huge sugar pine. Perspective. Hallowed be thy name. Hollow tree with a pine cone at the entrance.
Yep.
I like these. Oh, cool. It's one of these tunnel things.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at that pine
Mike,
cone.
turn around. Mike? Oh, sorry. Gotta restart the goddamn thing. Enjoy yourself for about a minute or so.
Look at this pine cone.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Yeah, hold on the pine.
Hold this up for perspective. That is a sugar pine cone, the largest cone in the coniferous world. I bet you could club somebody over the head with that one and win.
And win. Okay. Here's what Mike. Before you guys like take a picture of you holding this thing.
Wait a minute, nobody was here, did it make a sound? And yes, you were saying the thing is
Let us go there. All right. Into the light, Caroline. Oh, this is interesting. Yes, I'm going to do it. With one hand. Somehow. Come try this. did it, but I didn't make a good video out of it.
Hang on, stay where you are.
Let me turn around.
Yeah. The panoramic pictures are pretty very cultic.
Very cool, huh?
Oh. Wow.
That's the way we were supposed to go, but we like to do things the hard way. And there we have an interesting tree, one species of tree growing out of another tree. Actually, we have two species of tree growing out of a third species. And that's the little ride that we just took through there. That was pretty cool. That was worth the price of admission alone. Strange things present themselves in the forest, like random giant sheets of tin. Or maybe it's even aluminum, I don't know. But why this was placed here remains a mystery of the universe. Now that's probably the biggest burnout I've ever seen.
Wow, yeah. They're still alive. Can't really tell.
This is absolutely amazing that this one is even alive.
Oh, wow. Dan, stay where turn around, Mike. Please. This is the tall tree that I can approve of.
These two giants are fairly close together. Wow.
Wow. Looks like something out of Lord of the Rings.
I was just thinking that. It totally does. Just because it's a passage, right?
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of those two giant statues.
Wow.
This is beautiful. Here, Mike.
This is the passageway to the Enchanted Lands. We have entered the other side of the Twin Towers.
Do me a favor, from this angle, you just sort of get a size of it. I'll just take a picture of me between the trees.
Is that two trees fused together?
Let's see.
Or one tree?
Then just wait for his lead. assume it's 2 trees.
It turns out they're 2 trees, and they're not fused together. They're simply leaning against each other. But they kind of grew like one tree together, and when the fire came, it treated each one of their sides as if it was the middle.
Wow.
Beautiful,
Beautiful sugar pine.
beautiful sugar pine. I love this. This is definitely the Enchanted Forest.
This one has natural tunnel trees.
We've reached the end of the trail, officially. We found the Agassiz Tree. The largest tree in the park. Close, but they're not quite this big. Here's the lit side of Agassiz Tree. Oh my God. And I love it. There's all the way down here, there's little trees growing. We're now gonna go past the trail into pure, unadulterated wilderness. It is allowed, but I advise we follow the creek so we don't get lost. Yes. We've left the Shire, Frodo. We have now ventured into the unknown. where only the shadows of night dwell, without warning, shall strike those unwary souls who have not repented their sins. The mosquito gods are here to suck the blood from our very souls. We have ferns and other things, lush vegetation. There's the Agassiz tree over there, hiding. We have to navigate.
Here's going to be the difficult thing. It'll actually be fairly easy to miss that.
Well, we've reached our first massive giant after our deviation beyond the trail, which is perfectly allowed, by the way, but obviously requires determination. This is what it looks like off the trail. We're using the creek as our guide. Oh, and the force helps too. The tree that we just passed, the monster, we're crossing over this fallen giant. There's a little marsh here with beautiful ferns. And what are these things? Some kind of lilies? Not sure. We're looking for a group called the Moodies, which isn't that far. However, finding them may be the most difficult part of all. Well, came from down there and made it onto this log. Fallen tree, actually. There's a couple big ones. Giants. Here's a really nice sugar pine. And here's a lot of big ones. However, we may have reached our limitations in how far we're willing to go, as the density of the jungle just gets thicker, and we're not prepared for such an expedition.
Well, let's see. Hang on.
Watch as
How did you get on top of this thing?
I climbed up right over here. I just grabbed onto that carefully. Be careful not to let your shoelaces get entangled on anything, because
Right.
while you're trying to ascend.
Oh, that's true.
Don't put all your weight on it though. Use it as a guide.
Damn.
Yeah, it's only for the most agile.
There we go.
I love this view here. We definitely have a slice of forest to ourselves today,
Yes, we do.
as this is definitely not for the faint of heart.
And this may actually be the...
The Moodies are probably within our sight, but
It might be that.
I'm not exactly convinced that I want to proceed any further. We will see. As we scurry through the forest like animals in the totally pristine wilderness.
Where are you?
Over here. Keep going. We are truly where very few people go. Just keep going straight. This is the totally unmaintained part of the reserve where everything is left to its own devices. We're hoping this is the strand called the Moodies, but we're about ready to abort this mission after we get a little more adventure. Nonetheless, whether these are or not, we're impressed.
These are my Moody's.
Here's a little thing on this tree. It says, it's a little nail that says 584.
May 1984?
No, it just says 584.
Yeah, it would mean May 1984.
It doesn't have a slash, it just says 584. So maybe this is a marker for the Moody's? Let's see, let's get closer. This is probably the best view we're gonna get of these. No trails, only our sheer determination to get here. Totally pristine old growth sequoia forest in Calaveras Big Trees State Park, California, where only nature exists.
See any big fire burns?
Oh yeah. We need that guide though. You have to look at it from this side. It looks right. This is right. I know it. This one in the middle says it all.
Wow.
One of the cool things about the South Grove is it's a botanist's paradise. We're seeing all kinds of plants. Those look like house plants. You'd see it.
But I think it's a viral, I don't know if it's...
It looks like some kind of a...
Estivating or some sort of viral infection or what?
No, that looks like a pattern. Variegated leaves and all that.
Yeah, it's the same thing here.
These are some monster trees here. We're definitely in a place that's untarred, unfeathered, unchained. Nobody comes here except the adventurous, and we felt a little rambunctious today.
Mm-hmm, and here we are.
However, we had to trog through all that kind of environment to get here. And no, it wasn't fun, but exhilarating it was. Where's Bigfoot? We love the algae, the lichen. All the odd, quirky features that you exhibit. Where one of you joins the other to create a larger than life dynamic system. There's another huge one behind these.
Movie that was made in the early 70s.
That's a pretty impressive specimen with a great view right here as well. That's probably the best picture for a complete top framed by other trees around it.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
The Lathe of Heaven.
It sounds familiar, but
I think I might have shown it to you 20 years ago when I first met you.
possibly.
Yeah, I remember. I sucked your dick and then we watched The Lathe of Heaven.
I don't remember it.
Or that was somebody else. Never mind.
Doesn't mean we didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I smoked lots of pot back then. Magnificence. God's true creations. Perspective is cool too. Now I'm on the other side of the Moody's. I wanted to get close to this tree, and it turns out there's a string, some kind of guideline for somebody to climb it.
There's a bunch of them actually. Those are climbing or?
Human. Tree. Really, really, really
Cool.
big tree.
Really, really big tree.
What a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Calaveras Big Tree State Park, where magic is afoot.
Magic is afoot. God's alive. Magic is afoot.
Oh my God, this is beautiful. This shimmering domed spider web in the light. Oh, and there's a spider in it. Oh my God. This is magical. Come look at this.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're about ready to
Get scraped.
go through all that again and hope we can find our way back. Good luck. We have stumbled upon more big ones. I hear the creek again.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you going to walk on this?
Nope.
Guess we don't have to. Yes, it's truly an Indiana Jones experience.
It is.
Oh, and look, there's another big one
It's the same one. I think it just snapped. Or do you see another one?
right there.
Oh, wow. Yep.
And there's another big one, but not as big. Watch out.
Maybe walking on that thing,
This could be the biggest sugar pine we've experienced. But if it's not, I'm still impressed.
Maybe go down there. There's a, or I don't know which is. Or maybe we're saying high is easy. I don't know which is easy.
I think getting too close to the swampy area means more bugs and more boggy. I think this mid section is better than the way we did it up there. I don't know. I don't think this is as bad this time so far. Maybe I was all psyched up for it.
I recognize it.
And yet another massive giant sighting. Who says giants don't exist? They haven't seen these. Well, we made it through the wilderness. We're back in civilization. Back at the end of the trail, back at this beautiful Agassiz Tree, which is the biggest in the park.
It was worth the scrape. Worth getting lost.
Huge. And I like this little dogwood in front of it to give it some adornment.
Now I'm gonna drink some water.
It'd be so normal. It's not a big deal. But they're so weird.
No, because we would have lunchtime concerts in this thing. We found the throne of Satan.
This is very Wicked Witch of the West Forest. Really delicate too. It's gonna be gone soon.
Yes. All right, here we are. This is probably the last video I took from the last trip, but here we are back at Calaveras Big Trees to actually do some serious hiking in the old growth forest. This is the road. They like cones here. There is the ranger station where they will extort money out of us to enjoy our public lands. Here we are in the parking lot of the Visitors Center. It is weekend and all the campsites are full, but we're gonna go in here and find out more about California's gold. We are now at Calaveras Big Tree State Park, and we're going to do the North Grove Trail. Total length 1.67 miles and handicap friendly. Wait, first stop at the park are trees.
Wow, look at this tree here. This is a tree.
It's a tree. And this is some lichen. Beautiful. Yeah, it doesn't take long to enjoy California's gold.
And this is another kind of tree.
That's a nice tree too.
This tree's called a tree.
I'm not sure what it is.
It is a interesting looking tree.
A linden?
Look at the fruit of it. Interesting. But if I knew my plants better, which I should know what this tree
This is a Sierra Nevada tree though. Word has it, there's the Visitor Center, that this was cleared out. They got a grant to clear out all the non-native trees, I guess. To clear the brush out so that this won't burn. Hopefully that's true, because this isn't Burning Man. Not exactly the stump way to heaven, but
in the spring of 1852, a backwoods hunter named Agassiz T. Dowd was chasing a wounded grizzly bear in an unfamiliar forest. Suddenly, he was stopped in his tracks by an unbelievable sight, a tree of monstrous proportions that was easily 3 times larger than any he'd ever seen. Dowd spent the rest of his life figuring out a way to cut it down.
and he did. Wow. This was a nice tree at one time. That's pretty bizarre. Normal tree. Huge tree.
I see there's the rest of it.
North Grove Trail. Number 2. Another biggie.
These live over 3,000 years.
This one's 3,000 years?
Individual trees can live over 3,000 years.
Number 3. What's it called?
This section of wood laying on the ground is big enough to be a fallen tree. But instead, it's a piece of a branch that dropped off from nearby sequoia. In the ground, sequoia branches may not appear to be incredibly large. Some have been found to measure over 6 feet in diameter.
I was more wondering what the name of that tree is. This is just a branch. Well, isn't that special? This one is the real champion here. These are pretty big. get over there for perspective, or at least human being next to tree.
Roots extend only 6 to 8 feet under the soil surface. They can grow outwards to encompass an entire acre. This allows the smaller feeder roots to collect water and nutrients from the rich Sierra soil to support the growth of these huge trees. Sequoia seedlings spend the first few years of life developing a strong root system before putting much energy into the above-ground development. Several plants are growing in the soil left behind the roots of the fallen tree. Wow. Well, actually in the ground.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that.
So that one fell over 100 years ago, or 1965 or something.
Yeah.
And this
and a
little
piece of his taproot
piece of the root has decided to sprout into
another sequoia.
A new tree. These things are amazing. Meanwhile, it looks like Medusa on a bad hair day. Onward ho! The largest in the North Grove, 30 feet diameter.
At 48 feet above ground, still has 16 feet diameter. Though there may be taller trees in the grove, this one has the greatest mass.
The most massive tree in the North Grove. That tree has a diameter of that branch on that sequoia. That's huge. Number 7. Number 8.
The Siamese twins started life so close together that the first 50 feet of their trunks have emerged and now appear to be one tree. Large burn scars were created by burning fuel that was caught between the two trees. Look for a horizontal cut in the bark on the tree to the right of the twins. That one. This was probably the location of one of the marble name plaques, which were placed on many of the trees starting in the early 1860s. Bark and wood were also collected from the trees for souvenirs such as pincushions, candle holders, and carved animals. In some groves, the bark was removed and shredded for house insulation.
Do you?
Something kind of cool to look at back here.
What's that?